Has another parent ever got mad at you for saying no to their child? Yes, I'm not a parent, but I'm a lifeguard at a local water park. If you've ever been to a huge water park, like Universal or Disney, then you know that there are these tall towers attached to water slides. That day, my job was to guard one of our most popular slides for maintenance. There are a total of like 6 slides on that tower, including 2 that put you in a tube and drop you. I basically had to tell everybody in the park one by one that the tower, and therefore every slide on it, was closed as they tried to enter. Another piece of important context, the park that I work for has this membership tiers, and the highest one is different benefits that include early access to the park, preferred and free parking, large discounts on merchandise and food, either free or extremely discounted fast passes. I'm not entirely sure on that one, and preferred seating in places like the theater in the next door theme park and in the shade at the water park. This is called the Diamond Elite membership. Now don't get me wrong, most of these members are really nice and just want to have a good time with their families. However, there are a few who are just a little too entitled. Okay, back to the story. So this tower that I'm guarding is right next to the diamond seating. This will be important in a second. I'm just doing my thing, informing guests that the tower is down, apologizing for the inconvenience and recommending other slides. Then enters this child. He walks over to me and I tell him that I'm sorry but this entire tower is closed today due to maintenance. If you want, he interrupts me and asks me if every slide individually is open, with my same response of the entire tower being closed. After he realizes that I'm not going to let him up, he, a child who is at least 13 years old, calls for his mommy, who comes running and gives me this nasty look when I tell her to walk. She, already annoyed, asks her kid what the problem is. He says that the mean lifeguard won't let him ride the slides. When she asks me why, I tell her that the entire tower is closed to all guests due to maintenance. She then holds up her lanyard with her Diamond Elite membership card in it and says, "Are you blind? Can you not see that we are Diamond Elite members? That obviously doesn't apply to us. Let my son up that tower now." I respond with a simple, "I'm sorry ma am, but this tower is closed to all guests today due to maintenance." She then tries to tell me, more like scream at me, multiple times that closed to all guests doesn't apply to her son because they are Diamond Elite members. At this point they're being so loud that I don't even have to call over the head guard, the lifeguards who watch the other lifeguards and make sure that they are doing their jobs, in my area. He just comes over himself, but before he gets there, the woman points up to the top of the tower and says, "Well, if my kid can't go and ride the slides, then why are those people up there?" I look up and see that there are people at the top of the tower, in bright orange vests and hard hats. So I respond with the maintenance workers. They're doing maintenance on the slides. Now this is when the child goes full Dudley Dursley and starts crying about how it's not fair and that he wants to ride the slides and his entire day is ruined. Now, this is when I lose all sympathy for them. These memberships are expensive. That means that nobody would buy them without the intention of coming back at least enough times to make the payment worth it. They could simply come back to the park later as it would cost them no extra money and ride the slides then. Also, she said that I needed to call over a supervisor or a manager so that she could have me fired. At that point, with nothing less than perfect timing, my head guard finally gets over to where I am and gets the story. They tried to tell him that I was being extremely rude and that I needed to be fired for not doing my job. My head guard said the exact same thing that I did and she went on this whole rant saying things like, "Are you all missing brain cells? This little poop here doesn't understand that the customer is always right and you should too." My head guard then says the best thing ever. "Ma, I'm sorry but this is a family-friendly park. On top of harassing this lifeguard about benefits that you don't have, you are also using language that is prohibited in the park. I'm going to have to ask you to leave."